I am seeing Igbo names on this Vanguard report as those that sponsor terrorism in Nigeria. Igbo names on this Vanguard report. 90% of the names that have been published by Vanguard as those that sponsor terrorism, 90% of these names are Igbo names. We have their bank details and account numbers. Now let's look at this report from Vanguard. I will take time to read this. The federal government has designated and sanctioned several individuals and entities, including prominent separatist leader Simon Ekpa, for their alleged involvement in financing terrorism. They use the word alleged, okay? The sanctions, which include the immediate freezing of all funds, assets, and economic resources, were announced on Thursday following a meeting of the Nigeria Sanctions Committee in Abuja. The decision was made in accordance with Section 54 of the Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act 2022 and received the approval of both the Attorney General of the Federation and the President, Tinubu, and the AGF. Government documents reveal that the committee has mandated financial institutions to identify and freeze all accounts linked to the designated individuals and entities without prior notice. The sanctions extend to all funds, assets, economic resources owned or controlled by the designated persons, including those that are jointly owned, indirectly controlled, or derived from their activities. Financial institutions are also required to file suspicious transactions reports to the Nigeria Financial Intelligence Unit for further analysis. Now, amongst the designated individuals and entities, they publish the names. On your screen, you can see the names. Not that we are making anything up. We have first person, Simon Ekpa Njoku, his guaranteed trust bank account and other accounts, God's Time Promise. We have Promicool Venture, Francis Chukwedo Maduabuchi. We have John Anayo, Godwin Onwere, Chikuka, Godwin Eze. We have Edwin Augustine Chukwedo. We have Chiwendu Joy Owo, Ginika Jane Orji, Awo Uchechukwu, Mercy Ebere Former, Ohagu Neka Juliana, Eze Chibuke Okoto. You said I'm calling it. 90% of the names of these terrorism financiers, 90% are Igbos. My question is IPOB a terrorist organization? I hear the case is in Supreme Court. Is IPOB, from your conscience as a person, as a human being, looking at the abuse of human rights, the human rights abuse we have in Nigeria today, and how IPOB started as a group that was just having to use placards, and they were being mowed down by the military. You saw what the Air Force did at the NEPA office in Lagos. You saw the brutality. They went there, they destroyed cameras, because they are owing NEPA, sorry, PHCN. Why am I calling it NEPA? They are owing PHCN, but PHCN had to do the needful. They cut off their light. And the Air Force came and started vandalizing, started harassing people. Saw the videos, people had to scale the fence. This is a country, in quote, that respects human rights. And this is the same military formation that shot a lot of IPOB people that were protesting without weapons. You are coming with your placards to protest, they come and they shoot. They shoot. It happened to Shite movement. See, one thing about injustice is that if you are supporting injustice today, it will always catch up with you. If it doesn't catch up with you in your generation, your own generation, the generation coming after you will witness that injustice. So, sincerely, my question is IPOB a terrorist organization looking at the context of human rights abuse as relates to the Nigerian government? I gave you an example. Now, we have known about Boko Haram for a very long time. Have we seen anywhere names of these Boko Haram financiers were published, their account frozen, and their names are published like this? Name, account number, different account number. Have we seen? If you have seen, please share the link with me, because I've not really seen. I'm not perfect, I don't know everything, but I've not seen. You see, the way they handle anything that has to do with the Southeast is what has made so many people say they don't be part of Nigeria. The way they handle the Southeasterner, the way Nigerians sees the Igbo man. Some things that are happening in the North. The last time we saw bandits releasing hostages and having a meeting with community leaders, which they are gone by their side. Having a meeting with community, they released the captives so that they can do Ramadan. Maybe after Ramadan, they resume their activities. If this happened in the Southeast, what would have been the story? This is outright injustice before our faces. We have known the kind of operation, python, whatever, that would have been going on in the Southeast. If the IPB come and sit down with villagers, and there's a picture, there's a camera, there's a video, the DSS will now activate that facility, that equipment they have. Whether you take pictures, wherever you are, they can track and trace you. They can track and trace you. But you see, so many of these things happening in the North, we have not seen names published like this. But it's easier. If it involves an Igbo man, you can just publish the name. Because that's how it looks like. That is how it looks like. As much as you understand that some of the activities of these guys are not being supported wholeheartedly by the Igbo people, but the treatment the Igbos get from a government like this is unprecedented. I've said the only issue, the only solution to Nigeria is that we restructure this country. That's the only solution. If you like, build a World Trade Center in Jalingo, build the Caliph building in Sokoto. If there's no justice, you cannot live in a society that does not give justice to these people, no matter what it is. Good governance goes with justice. Good governance. Tell me any institution of government that the people have hope in now. People have lost hope in every institution of government. People have lost hope. People, nobody, INEC, tell me, Supreme Court, tell me, the executive, the legislature, look at how they are disgracing themselves at the plenary, how they shut down a woman. Even if the woman is making bogus whatever, you don't allow the woman to express herself, you shut him down. And some people are clapping. If you get your turn one day, they will shut you down. I've told you, the kind of system we practice is the rich and poor. It is the rich and poor, wherever they are. There's no how you can say Igbo must go, this one must go in Lagos. That the rich, the elite among the Igbos will not still benefit from Nigeria. There's no how Yoruba no come. The poor will still remain poor. There's no how you want to do it. You can see the giant, the visionary strides that Tinubu has conceived at the Lekki Free Trade Zone. It can never be for an average Yoruba man. There's no how. It is for the elite. Mind you, most of the people that are having buildings there, most of them might not be from Lagos. International companies will come and buy land. How many people have houses in Lekki? So don't be carried away by, see, if there's injustice, there's a big problem. Without justice, there cannot be good governance. That's why you see some people come out and say, if you treat the Igbos like this, if you continue treating, Nigeria will never move forward. Some people are celebrating, okay, Tinubu is doing this in this place. Tinubu approved university. Tinubu approved this one. Since 1960, do you know how many things that have been approving? Do you know how many things that have been approving? Look around you. The cocoa house was once abandoned. If institutions need to work, there must be a trust, some trust in the government. People have lost hope in anything. Look at PDP. They closed. Nobody bought any governorship form for the PDP because everybody believes that we are running a system whereby there is no transparency. If INEC run an election, they will give it to whom they fit. That's what they believe. That's the impression the government has given people. And you think that under this circumstance, nobody can deliver good governance. What is good for the goose is good for the gander. So if you are quick to publish names of these Igbo people, what happens to the terrorism financiers, the Boko Haram? It took Buhari pressure. They pressure him to gazette Boko Haram as a terrorist organization, Boko Haram and Fulani herdsmen, Fulani killer herdsmen, it took him a long time for him to gazette it. Pressure. But anything they hear in Igbo land, they are taking their armor, they will take their whatever. They will be destroying and killing people, destroying houses. And people are watching, the world is watching. I'm not saying that you should not, whatever you need to do, but if it's one-sided, your judgment, if it's one-sided, it looks like injustice. It looks like we are explaining ourselves now. I've told you that at the end, Biafra will come. There's nothing you will do. See, all these things that the government is doing, that you're publishing names of this, that, it doesn't stop the fact. It will even intensify, make people want to even enter the street. Some people will see that report from Vanguard. Okay, because of this, I want to join this Biafra. Because when people see injustice, they are now moved. When it comes to tribe, when you are, if you are one side, when there's partiality, for instance, if you are sharing something that they now cheat you, how do you feel? You feel agitated. So this kind of reports gets people agitated. Samnekwa and Cove, terrorism financiers, I've asked this question. Looking at the way the government abuse the rights of the people, do they have a moral compass to call somebody who is fighting against injustice a terrorist organization? Look at what's happening in the Senate. I just give you an example of what happened in Nepal. Taking law into their hands. Now, if somebody is being killed as the Air Force are going to attack people, somebody is being injured, at the end of the day, you see that nobody will be brought to book. They will intentionally not want to bring somebody to book until there's a pressure. There's a pressure before they can see they arrested some people and they took them to court. But if you leave them, the authorities are they will not just do anything. Not just do anything. You have Boko Haram causing mayhem, destroying. What Boko Haram has done, IPOB can never even try it. Listen, cannot try it. What's the essence of Boko Haram? What are they fighting for? What are the IPOB fighting for? They want a separate nation. They want to achieve Biafra. They have a reason why they are fighting. But you don't really understand why the Boko Haram they are fighting. They are being marginalized. Who are they? Who are they that are being marginalized? Come out and have your case. The Boko Haram, they will be arrested, they will be enlisted, they will be de-radicalized, they will be empowered and brought back into society. But those IPOP guys, nobody wants to listen to anybody. Very, very good report by the Vanguard. Very good report. That you are designating the account of a people, a tribe, mostly as terrorism financiers, whereby the world knows where the major acts of terrorism come from, which is the north. We don't know the name of anybody and his account number. Some of these guys, they tell you that they know where the bandits are. If somebody in Southeast, a chieftain or a traditional ruler tells you that he knows where ESN is and comes online to say it, if that person comes out to say it, the treatment you give that Igbo man will be different from the treatment you gave to that Fulani man or that Hausa man or the Northerner. And that is before our eyes. Before our eyes. Look at what is happening in Enugu State, Ehamufu. The same Samanekwa that you are saying is a terrorist and blah, blah, blah. All have you. He's financing terrorism. When he used to be in active force, or when he used to be active, you will have seen him saying one thing about this will not happen. So thing happened here. And those Fulani that are killing in Ehamufu in Enugu State will have not been killing up to this extent that people are coming out to shut down, almost wanting to shut down the state because of Fulani killings that have persisted since the time of Buhari. We have a government, the governor there, not saying anything, not being proactive. I said it before that when these people now mobilize themselves now, when ESN now come out and say, okay, we want to make sure we drive them away, that's when the security officers will now start be jogging. Let's go and stop ESN. Stopping the Fulanis, those that are killing, you cannot. But there's some people that will go and stop them. And the place will be peaceful. These people that are being designated terrorists, They have been trying as much as can to stop. However, we know what is going on in Nigeria. Let me not even go to that aspect. We know what is going on in Nigeria. We know that we are not in a real place. Except we want to lie to ourselves. If you want to lie to yourself, I don't know. I can't lie to myself. We are not in a real place. Most of the things that are happening in Nigeria, sometimes you lose hope in humanity. Most of the things that happen in Nigeria. And when you see the crass ignorance and illiteracy of the Nigerian people, you wonder, do people who have brain live here? An example is Kogi State. Natasha brought their own protesters. Akwa Ibom brought their own protesters. These are people that went to school. They started disgracing themselves. People's mothers. Poverty make people just become zombies. So when they say IPB terrorists, let's go to Nnamdi Kanu has been arrested for a very long time. With all the media propaganda and everything, they have not been able to say this guy is guilty of this. They are even looking for a political solution. It tells you a lot about people that are calling Nnamdi Kanu is this, that he killed this, blah, blah, blah. When you go through the legal processes, you cannot hold this man at a ransom because the government of Buhari committed a very big blunder in going to take him from Kenya. And that is where they will find it difficult to prosecute Nnamdi Kanu. The government that is calling people terrorists are committing acts of human rights violation on its people. Those officers now, what they have done, they will be looking. They will not do anything. Until somebody come and protest. Before they, as a security organization, as an agency of government, it is your duty to do the right thing. The people, the taxpayers' money will be used to pay you for your job, yet it is the people that will start telling you what you need to do. We are waiting for what will be the aftermath of these Air Force people that went to attack. An example of human rights violations. International communities are watching, people are watching all these acts happening in Nigeria, but nothing. Somebody from Sahel, a governor will stand with a bandit with guns, with Boko Haram with guns. Someone will say that these are our freedom fighters. You don't mention anybody's name. Saudi Arabia helps you to publish their name. You don't mention anybody's name and account number. But if it comes to the southeastern part of Nigeria, everybody is standing up. We say, Chabi Buhari called 5 dots in circle, 5 plots of land. Oyo State is bigger than the south. Of course. The southwest is bigger. Of course. But as small as Lagos is, you can see how Lagos is pulling weight. Lagos, the square kilometer, I think 3,000, something like that. She as Lagos is pulling weight. We know that it is 5 plots of land. Let these people go because they don't be part of this union. And you want it to be by force. It seems Nigerians are forcing the Igbos to be part of the union. It seems so. Genuinely, an average Igbo man wants to, is out of Nigeria. He has seen that he wants to be part of Nigeria. He's been denigrated. He's been talked down on. I'm not talking to bigots or these bigots, whatever they are. I'm not talking to them. Because if you start bigotry on online and you meet your fellow bigots, if you are Igbo, you started bigotry online, and you meet your Yoruba bigots, you don't generalize. It's the team of your bigots. Anything they say applies to you. But I don't know why when a bigot says anything about the Igbos, I look at him very well. If I see a bigot, I know that this one have mental illness. I don't care. Because number one, Africa, no game out for the world. Africa, we are not supposed to talk about Igbo outside Yoruba if we are not foolish. People are talking about going to Mars. Technology has gone to another level. AI, development, tech. So many things are happening in the world that Africa is not even part of it. If some of these countries want to finish Africa within 1 week, they will do so. That's how our lives are in the hands of people. And those people are not discussing tribe, ethnicity, blah, blah. We are here with our egusi and amala and ewedu and apple, chopping and going to toilet and becoming a nuisance to the community. We're talking about Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba. It's unfortunate that we have terrorism financiers in the north, but instead, Vanguard had to go and publish the ones they said alleged from the southeast. It's an affront on the Igbo people, as much as not everybody agrees with Samonekpa. But when they see injustice, we smell injustice. We remember, you are trying to remember us. They say history is bound to repeat itself. And you know that when people write history, people that wrote our history, most of the things they wrote, most of them are outright lies and bias. They are writing their own. But there's one thing that is constant and consistent. History is bound to repeat itself. If the Igbos have been marginalized in the past, it is repeating itself now. If the killings of the Igbos led to the war, it is repeating itself now. So history is bound to repeat itself if we are not careful. So the government should also do well to freeze the account of those terrorism financiers in the north, and not just only the southern part of Nigeria.